Hello, I'm Bruce Zimmerman, and this is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week. Weeks Roses. Now, Weeks is spelled W-E-E-K-S, and they have some new varieties available for 2016. These are some of their newest roses that, like all the breeders and producers of roses, they're looking for the most disease resistant. This is what people are looking for and require from the breeders and the growers. If you're going to put a rose in your garden, you want one that is going to be low maintenance, and that's the way the breeding has gone. For many, many years, it was always the big flowers in a wide range of colors, but we lost all the fragrance. So they've stepped back and they've started rebreeding again, and you'll see that this is what the breeders and the public demand. The first one is in the Home Run series. It's called Watercolors. Now, it's a landscape rose, which means that it's good more as a ground cover, but it's not strictly a ground cover. In other words, it spreads out. The flowers open completely to reveal that golden anther center and yellow centers as well. The outer edges are blushed in pink of each petal. The flowers are about 2.5 to 3 inches across, and they bloom in large clusters for months, and they repeat bloom from spring till fall. So we've got a disease-resistant rose that's well behaved, sort of ground covering, lower growing, rounded plant. As a result, we've got a nice little neat plant that you're going to be happy to have in the garden. Like all roses, it needs air movement, and it does need, of course, a little bit of maintenance, and it does need sunshine. Now, it's hardy to USDA Zone 5, with a little winter protection if you wish, let's say Zone 4. So it is an excellent plant. By the way, remember I said they want more fragrance back in? Well, this one does have a delicate, spicy fragrance that has a hint of cinnamon. In other words, it is more or less the complete rose, what we're really starting to look for in a rose plant. The next one is Miss Congeniality, and every time I say this, I keep thinking of the movies. Miss Congeniality is a Picotee rose. Now, that means that it's a white with the vibrant pink edges. Every time I look at this one, I think of the Picotee begonias, but because of the coloration, they are fully double with a high center, which means they have a nice shape to them. They are very, very well grown in a garden, but also they bloom well repeatedly throughout the season, and they're not bad at all for cutting. That's excellent. So good in the garden, good in the house. And that's what we're looking for. We want to be able to cut the occasional rose. Medium to large flowers, up to 4 inches in diameter. They are in clusters on an upright, vigorous bush. It's got the glossy dark green foliage that I like. The flowers have a scent of pear and spices, so it's a little more unusual in its scent. We usually don't pick up a pear spicy fragrance in roses. It's more of the old-fashioned spicy rose scent that we're used to getting. Now, Miss Congeniality is beautiful. It has disease resistance. It is a grandiflora, which means that it's got the larger roses. It is hardy to Zone 6, that's the USDA Zone 6. Zone 5 with some moderate winter protection. So take a look at this one. I think you'll like it mainly because of the size, the cutting feature of it, as well as the coloration, and of course the light, unusual fragrance. The next one is Sunshine Happy Trails, and Rainbow Happy Trails. These are ground cover roses. They are very popular. Like, ground cover roses are getting to be very, very popular because they go so well into a garden with other plants. Though we still need that air movement and sunshine, so you got to make sure that they're not overcrowded by surrounding plant material. They are prostrate, they're low growing, they're great for the garden and borders. They have good coloration. Now, the Sunshine Happy Trails is a medium yellow to a buttery gold colored flowers. They bloom repeatedly throughout the growing season. Each flower has 15 to 20 of the petals, so it's not too bad on its petal count. And they hold their nice yellow color till the very end, which is always a problem with light-colored roses. They always seem to evolve or devolve into something less attractive. The Rainbow Happy Trails has the same trailing habits, and it's got that yellow gold blush, but it's got pink on the edges of the petals. They again hold their color, and they hold that color until the petals drop clean, which means that it's almost self-cleaning. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't clean up the mess, but it does mean that they're going to be self-cleaning. Both of them are vigorous, floriferous. They work well as a ground cover. They do have medium-sized clusters in the roses, basically like a floribunda, and are going to be very, very popular because, again, it's a ground cover rose with decent coloration. And I think you'll find the hardiness being to USDA Zone 5 with a little protection Zone 4 be excellent. And I think you'll find they'll work well into most garden designs. Even smaller gardens will like these two beautiful ground cover roses. The next one is Smoking Hot. It is the least hardy. It is, let's put it this way, it's red, but it's got a purple overlay, which gives you that sort of, it looks like the rose is started to go over. You'll sometimes see this in the old masters' paintings where they're doing the darker roses, where they start to discolor into the purple. It depends on the painter, of course. But you'll find that these ones have a fiery orangey color, and then they have that purple overlay. They make an attractive bouquet, but they have long single stems. So in other words, each rose has a long single stem. The flowers are up to 4 inches in diameter. They've got a soft, spicy fragrance. It's disease resistant, it's tall, and it's upright in its habit. In other words, it's like a grandiflora, but because of the single flower per stem, it's more like the old hybrid teas, which are sometimes harder to get. You get a lot more of that multiple stem large rose of a grandiflora than you do get a lot of the hybrid teas anymore. The foliage is a glossy medium green, so it's a good background to this colored rose. It doesn't distract from it. And it is only hardy to USDA Zone 6 with protection hardy to Zone 5. So it's one you may have to push a little bit for where we live, but there are other people who listen to these podcasts who will go say, oh, Zone 6, no problem at all. And there's a lot of people out there who don't know that they're actually growing Zone 6 roses, but sometimes you get nice, good, mild winters, and sometimes you get bad ones. You will also see, in addition to these roses, that Weeks Roses has introduced a deep pink called Pretty Lady Rose. It is the latest variety from the Downton Abbey Garden Rose Collection, and Cutie Pie, a miniature rose with the shape and form of a hybrid tea rose whose blooms are yellow with an overlay of pink. If you're looking for a beautiful miniature rose. This one is one to look at. I have not got a lot of information on either of these, but I would like to get some more because I've seen pictures of them. And trust me, I'd like to put Cutie Pie in my garden. My wife would be jealous, but anyways. Cutie Pie is a miniature, and I do like miniatures in my garden. They take up less space, and I can put them out there. Most of my miniatures are on their own roots. I don't have to worry about that. And they're tough, and they've been going. I've got some out there that have been going. The true miniatures have been going for 25 years. And that, their biggest problem? Rabbits in the wintertime. So take a look at those as well. I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week.